Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the HEP podcast. This is our final podcast of the spring semester, and our special guest for today is a person who has been a very crucial member of the podcast. However, they've never been acknowledged for all of the work that they've been putting into the podcast and our school newspaper.
Our guest for today is our journalism teacher, Miss Mcwhirter. She has overseen everything we've done on the podcast and in the journalism newspaper.
But before we do that, go to our interview for today, we're going to play a game that me and Samuel came up with called Who Done It?
Each of us has given Miss Mcwhirter two unique situations that happened in our lives. Without knowing whose story she's telling us about, we have to guess whose story we think it is.
So, Mrs. Mcwhirter, first question.
Okay, guys, are y'all ready?
No.
Yes.
I'm really excited to share some of these embarrassing and fun stories.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go with story number one. This person was and still is a huge climber. When they were younger, they would climb over the fence of their backyard and ignore the fence gate completely. They also loved climbing trees. One of their parents' nickname for them was Monkey, which was due to the fact of them always climbing on everything. Who do you think this is?
I think I know.
I think it's hard. I
think that has
Kristen.
to be...
I have
Kristen.
to say it's Sam.
No, that has to be Kristen, because I know his house. I know the other two. It leaves you left. I think that's you, Kristen.
You think it's me?
Okay, so Kristen, what's your
I think
guess?
it's gotta be Sam.
Can you guess is Sam?
Yeah, either
Okay.
Sam or Cammy.
That's Kristen, for sure.
Cammy, what's your guess?
Okay. I'm torn between Kristen. Oh, I was gonna say Chase, but I've seen Chase's house, so I'm gonna stick with Kristen.
I don't have any trees in my backyard.
I know
Anna?
you don't. I'm gonna stick with Kristen.
Do you live on a prairie?
No,
Lives in the
I don't live in a nice part. That's true. There's no trees in my backyard. No, there's no. Anna, what's your guess? Who do you think it is?
I guess.
Kristen.
I don't know.
Yes, Kristen.
See, I'm gonna go with Cammy. Okay, Samuel.
Kristen. I've made this very clear. I'm voting Kristen.
I guess. I
Okay,
Kristen.
all right. Who is it?
And the answer is Cammy.
I was
Wow.
right. I knew it.
I like to climb stuff, but that's not my story.
No, I'll have to
I don't
admit,
climb
that sounds
trees.
very similar to me.
I-
My family would call me Monkey, but I did not submit that
actually-
They
one.
call me Monkey,
I
and
still,
I will occasionally climb
still,
trees, but I did not
I
submit
actually,
I was a
I
huge
still,
climber.
I still
I
climb
wasn't.
now. I still climb over my back fence, and I do still climb trees.
Okay.
I mean, I
Alright.
got stuck up in a tree.
All right.
Okay,
Next question.
Next
Next
one.
question.
Ready?
Yes.
Yes.
I went in a race car that went up to 120 miles per hour. Who is this person?
Kristen, what's your?
Sam.
Cammy.
I'm gonna say Sam.
I'm gonna say Chase or Sam.
I'm gonna say Sam.
I'm gonna say Chase or Kristen.
Kristen.
Yeah, I don't know, unless because it's not gonna be
Mrs.
back to
McWhirter,
back.
what is it?
Well, are y'all done guessing? Anna,
Yes.
What did you say?
I said Sam or Chase.
Okay. And the answer is Kristen.
Called it.
Really?
Technically, it went to like 124.
Okay.
It
Okay.
was like,
Guess that.
I think
What?
like a
How'd you
month
guess
ago,
that?
I went in
What do you mean? How I guessed that?
How did you
extreme
guess
race
that?
track.
Just a guess. I
Because
said
Sam
Chase or
didn't do it,
Kristen.
and who's the only other? I mean, Autumn's probably driven 120 miles an hour in her car before, but
No, it was in,
I didn't include that.
I have a Deuce
I think it was in a Hellcat that I went in on
that
a
makes
race
sense.
track.
Okay. Next question.
Next question.
In 5th grade, I was in a chapel sitting in the front row and I realized I was bleeding, so I showed my friend my bleeding finger. I got in trouble because I accidentally showed them my middle finger and didn't realize I had made a rude gesture.
Okay.
Who would this be?
So.
Kristen.
I think it's gotta be Anna.
I'm gonna go with Chase.
Oh, I like that. See it actually.
Cammy?
I could see it.
I'm gonna go with Anna.
Yeah. I'm gonna guess Anna also.
Anna's correct.
Okay. All right.
We need the next question.
Next question.
I flooded the bathroom with bubbles when I was 5 years old.
Okay.
Alright, I know exactly
Kristen.
who this is.
Who is it?
Sam?
I'm gonna guess Sam. It
Wow.
was whenever you started laughing.
Yeah.
Anna?
Kristen.
No.
No, I'm saying who you guessing?
Oh,
Who you
I thought
guessing?
you were guessing me. I'm like,
No, I'm not, I'm
That's
not.
definitely not me.
Who? What's your guess? What's your guess, Anna?
Probably Sam.
I'm. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Sam.
Oh my gosh, you
You're
don't know
laughing a
Samuel
little
way
I was
too
gonna-
well.
I've
Sam
known-
laughing a
I've known Samuel for about 8 years, but I've actually never heard that
It was
story.
Sam.
I
It
couldn't
was
hold
Sam.
that one in. Yeah,
It was because
Sam,
like
you
she
laughed a
was
little too much
No.
there.
I know.
no, it was because she wasn't even done with the story yet, and then you started
No.
laughing. And I'm like,
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Gave it away.
Next question.
Okay, next one. I used to want to sing when I was a kid. In fact, I even made an entire notebook with a bunch of songs. Who is it?
Zong sounds like Cammy. I'm sorry.
Let me think.
Kristen, what's your
Wait.
guess?
I feel like it's Cammy.
Have we had a Chase
Cammy?
one yet?
No. I'm gonna go with Chase.
Oh.
Anna?
That sounds something like Chase would do.
I'm gonna go with Kristen.
But no, but think about it. Think about it. Doesn't Chase seem like the person that would make music and not tell anyone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm going with Chase.
Because
Anna,
the other thing is he does want to learn how to play
you're gonna go
music.
Sam.
I'm gonna go
You
with
or
Chase.
Chase. You or Sam.
Chase.
I'm gonna go with Kristen.
You always go Chase.
No, because I could have sworn
What's
I heard you
the
sing.
answer?
No.
And y'all were correct. It's Chase.
Yeah, I
No.
I was
you know
about-
what?
I was about
have
5.
done that before. I'm not the one who put that story.
I was
out.
about 5 when I did that.
Do you still have your notebook?
Probably.
Can I read it?
Can you please show us it?
No.
If I wrote any.
I wrote it. I wrote it
don't
with.
wanna hear
I
it.
wrote it with my grandma.
No, we should
that's
take
sweet.
pictures and put it on the website.
No,
Yes.
those are
Give
my.
us, like one song and let us put it on the website.
No, they're all corny.
Next.
But they're
Okay.
great.
All right, Mrs. McWhirter. Next question.
This person was on a camping trip when they were about 11 years old. They were in a canoe with 2 of their best friends. While they were trying to paddle back to shore, the weather became very windy and rainy. They did not have the strength to paddle against the wind, so they got stuck on the opposite side of the lake. They were stranded for about an hour before their mom had gotten there in a kayak to save them. Who is it?
Kristen, who are you gonna guess?
I'm debating between. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. It could be any of y'all. I think I'm gonna say that it's Anna. No, I mean Anna or.
Well, I mean that's
that would
just
not
this.
be me. Me would be flipping the canoe.
That would
Cammy?
make sense because she
Cammy?
does go camping
Cammy?
a lot.
Yeah.
I don't trust any of you guys with this story. Okay, see, because like
Oh, you knew me when I was 11.
I know, but you don't tell me a lot of stories.
True, I don't.
I don't think it's Sam because Sam doesn't feel like a camping person in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't have money or time to.
It's either gonna be Chase or Kristen, in my opinion.
Anna, who do you think? What's your guess?
I mean, if we're like flipping over the canoe.
No, they didn't flip the
myself,
canoe. They didn't
But
flip the
since
canoe.
it was that, I honestly don't know.
If you had to guess.
I would probably guess you or Kristen.
Okay, that seems to be the popular guess.
Why
I
do you
am
think
going to
it's
say
me?
because while Sam does not camp now, my answer is going to be Sam.
Thank you. I would have to go with Anna or Cammy because camping doesn't seem like a Christian thing. I know camping's not your fondest thing. I know Anna goes camping a lot, and I don't know, it just seems something like Cammy would do.
It's been a minute since I camped.
confidently say I've never been camping, so
You have
Okay.
this?
I've
Miss
never
McWhirter?
been camping.
What is the answer?
And Kimmy.
It's Cammy?
Come
Oh,
on.
nice, nice, nice.
Yeah, that- I was crying for the whole entire time I was on the canoe too. So
Oh
there's
gosh.
that.
Which best friends with it?
It was my Girl Scouts.
Okay. Next
That
question.
makes sense.
I was at a camp in middle school, and I was talking with one of my friends who was a guy. When we were finished talking, I tried to walk off and realized I was stuck. I then realized they were holding my hand. However, I don't ever remember them grabbing my hand while we were talking. Who is it?
Chase for sure.
See, I don't have.
Kristen?
No.
I think it's gotta be Anna.
Okay. I'm gonna say. I don't think it's Kristen. I don't think it's Sam.
It's obviously one of the girls.
I
Unless it's Sammy.
I
I don't know, Sam.
I don't think it's Chase.
Obviously.
I'm gonna go with Anna.
Think about the wording of the story.
And Anna's correct.
Yeah, it's Anna.
Yeah.
Woo!
Okay. Next question.
I have almost 100% Lego Batman completed. in
Oh,
a week.
I know this.
Oh, I know this.
I know this.
Kristen, do you want to guess?
I think it's gotta be Chase or Sam.
Oh,
I
Who do
Anna?
you think, Chase?
Have we already had 2 stories for Kristen yet?
Well, just take a guess.
I think
Who does that
it's
sound like?
Kristen. I think it's Kristen. Anna,
It's probably either you or Sam.
me or Samuel?
Okay, well, what's the answer?
Cammy or Kristen? Because I know Cammy, your family
It's
has a lot
Kristen.
of gaming consoles.
It's gonna be Kristen.
Yeah, either Cammy
Wait,
or Kristen.
Cammy's already done 2.
Yeah, Cammy's
Hey,
already
don't
done.
calculate this.
Y'all don't have to do processes of elimination. Y'all can just guess.
No, I'm going Cammy or Kristen.
I'm going Sam.
And it's Kristen. Correct,
Mhm.
Samuel. Good job.
I am at about 92%
You need to
right
invite me.
now. I've
Kristen, you need to
been
invite
at
me
that
over.
point at a while because I got busy, so I have not
Kristen,
finished it
you
yet.
need to invite me over and I'll help you.
Cammy,
Okay.
I'm more of a Lego
I've
Star Wars
finished most
person.
of it. I'm
Lego
just
Star
actually
Wars
going
is
through
the
it and
superior
completing
one.
them.
Next
Honestly.
story.
I even have it on my computer.
Okay,
really?
next story. I flipped a bike while BMX racing.
Okay, well the
Chase.
only people with stories left are those 2.
Don't think about it that way.
Sam,
Don't think
which
about it
one
that
are
way.
you?
Don't think about it that way.
I think that's
Ah,
Chase because
I mean,
I'm not
my-
the most athletic person.
My answer whenever I heard the story was Chase, so I'm gonna stick with Chase.
Yeah,
I think I gotta go with Trace.
yeah, me too.
I'm going with Samuel.
I'm going with Chase.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know. What are you 2? I don't know.
What's the answer?
Samuel.
Oh? I could see it.
I liked how Samuel guessed Chase and then Chase guessed Samuel. And the answer was Samuel. That was really
I could
good.
see it.
Okay.
Okay. One time, I sleepwalked outside in the middle of freezing cold weather. I almost died of freezing to death. Luckily, someone pulled me back inside.
Probably Chase.
Chase.
Yeah.
It just gets up immediately.
I mean, it was the last story.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would. I
One
mean,
time I slept
I'm gonna guess.
from-
I'm gonna guess Samuel. Honestly.
One
Yeah.
time I slept walk from the second story down to the first story of my
I
house.
sleep kick. I don't sleepwalk.
Oh, I haven't slept walk in a few years.
I
I also one time cut my hair when I was
Okay,
sleepwalking.
okay. I have a story. I was sleeping with my friend once at her house. We had a sleepover, and I kicked her off her bed, and she hit her head on the nightstand, and so then she slept on the floor the whole entire night.
Okay. And I mean, drum
I
roll
one
here.
time cut my hair
Woo!
while I was sleepwalking. We all
What's the
know who
answer?
the answer is.
Oh, it's Chase.
Yeah, of course it's me.
Yay!
And
The story
yeah,
left.
Autumn pulled me back inside. I actually still to this day don't remember anything that happened that night. It's purely off of the evidence based by my dad and Autumn, because Autumn dragged me back inside, and apparently my dad was yelling at me to go back inside.
Nice.
How did they even know you were outside?
Because it was a house where it was a very open concept, and like Autumn could see, me and Autumn could see each other's beds, and when I walked out to the porch, it's like a 2-story place. She apparently woke up and saw me and just like dragged me back inside because she thought I was going insane or something. And yeah, and then I just woke up the next morning with sticks in my bed, and I was like, "What happened?" That's about it, really.
Wait, how old were you?
I was 12 or 13. 12 or 13. All right,
Did I know you at this point?
probably. Yeah, because it was like winter of 2019, I think.
Oh yeah, I knew you.
So, no, winter of 2020. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Okay, well, thank you everybody for tuning into today's game, and back to the podcast. Now let's go to today's interview with our teacher, Mrs. Mcwhirter.
Alright, for our fun interview today, I have with me the full podcast team and our lovely teacher, Miss Mcwhirter. Miss Mcwhirter is the mastermind behind all of what we have accomplished, and we would love to thank her for all she has done for us.
Hey everybody, thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here and get to talk to everyone and share what it's been like this semester and this school year. It's been a lot of fun.
So, before we get into this fun questions, would you mind telling us and the audience a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I have 2 kids, Mia and Micah. Mia's in 10th grade, Micah's in 9th grade. My husband, and his name is James, Mr. Mcwhirter. He loves to hunt and fish and golf. And I like to travel, and we like to do things together as a family and play games and go see movies and have a lot of family time, take trips, and go see family that doesn't live close by.
You sound like a fun family.
We are. We have a lot of fun together.
So, a first little fun question for you is, do you have a favorite grade you have taught?
Well, I've been teaching for a very long time, and for about 20 years. And during that time, I've started with public school first. I was a public school teacher, and then I moved over to homeschooling. So when my kids were young, I started teaching them homeschooling classes in another program, and then being a director at one time and principal of a homeschool program to teaching all kinds of grades and different classes. One thing great about homeschooling is there's so many fun different things you can do, from academics to electives. And I have to say, I've taught from pre-K all the way up to high school, and I love teaching so much, and I love students of all ages and kids, that it's hard to narrow down one particular grade. Little kids are so fun because they're so sweet and just loving and innocent. Not saying that big kids aren't either, like high schoolers, but y'all know how y'all can be sometimes. It's a different fun time with the older kids than it is with younger kids. I feel like I can talk to the high schoolers a little bit different. But journalism has been really, I have to say, one of my favorite classes of all time. Because I can finally use my degree, which is in journalism, and also have a teaching degree too, and teach and use both degrees in one class. And journalism is a lot of fun because y'all know how it was this year. We did podcasting, we did online newspaper writing. Y'all learned how to interview and learn all the techniques of speaking to people under time constraints and on the microphone, and just writing stories to yearbook and taking pictures with the little kids. So I have to say journalism has been one of my top favorite classes to teach.
Did you enjoy teaching public school?
I did. It was a lot of fun, but it's so different from homeschooling, you know. Public school is, you have a lot of kids in one classroom, and it's, you know, it's fun and it's in a different way, but my heart has always been with homeschooling.
Yeah.
And I love to teach the homeschooling. You have more leniency. You don't have to teach to the test. You can actually do fun things with all kinds of ages, from youngs to older kids.
May I ask, which public school did you teach at?
I taught at several different districts. When I did my internship, it was at Clear Creek ISD. And then my first teaching job was at Dickinson ISD. And then one of the teachers that I had taught with, I taught with special needs during my substitute program, as well as some elementary classes. And she found out I was at Dickinson, and she became an assistant principal in Pearland. And she brought me over to Pearland ISD, and then I taught in Pearland ISD for some time. And then after a while, I left and went to homeschooling after that.
What was the biggest class you've ever taught, and what was the smallest?
In public school, or just all around?
All around.
All around. Probably in public school, we had like 24 kids per class sometimes. And so that was kind of tough because you had some kids that needed special attention, and then with other kids mixed in. So that was tough, and I believe I was pregnant at that time with my kids too. So that was kind of challenging. And then when they were born, I was teaching too full time. So in my smallest class, oh gosh, maybe journalism, right?
Yeah.
You always told me to say journalism, so
Five
I
of
can say
us.
journalism, yeah. And what's so unique about having small classes, which I love, and you can't really do this in public school as you can in homeschool, is you get to have relationships. Like, I know so much about y'all, and y'all know a lot about me, and we're a family in our class. And so that's what I cherish most. And when I teach classes is, you know, I want it to be like a family environment, you know, and just where we have fun while learning at the same time. And of course, journalism is different from an academic class. It's not like a chemistry class or algebra class. You have more leniency, and you can, towards your creative side, and you can do things that you didn't know you could do, like podcasting adventures and interviewing people and getting advertisement sales and just having fun and just kind of in a relaxed environment, which I love.
What is your favorite food?
Oh, Mexican, hands down. I love Mexican foods, but more specifically, cheese enchiladas. That's my favorite.
Oh. Yeah.
Slap your barbacoa.
I used to tell my parents for every year for my birthday, I used to tell my mom, can you just make me cheese enchiladas? And she would for a time until she stopped and
This
she
is
said it was
about
too
to
much
be
work.
Very controversial, and some people know this. I've never had an enchilada,
What?
which I'm Mexican, so it's very ironic.
Why not?
I just never tried one, honestly. My friends know that I've been a picky eater or whatever, so I don't try a lot of foods. And my friends know this and are always really shocked when I tell them what I have and haven't had.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna have to get you some cheese enchiladas one day.
I'm gonna show up next week here at just see you holding a platter of them.
That's right. Maybe I will. I'll surprise you.
So, when you were in school, what was your least favorite subject to take?
In school?
Yes.
When
School,
I was
high
in
school,
school.
college, anything.
Well, in high school, probably chemistry.
Amen. Amen.
I can agree with that.
That was a difficult subject. Sorry, Mrs. Red. I know she's passionate, but I love science. I have to say, I love science experiments. I love that part about chemistry.
I'll send her the
But
podcast.
it's a difficult subject, so that was really hard for me. In college, I was very shy growing up. You know, I was really shy, and I was one of those kids in the class like, please don't call on me. You know, I would get really embarrassed. And do y'all know, I pursued past my shyness, and my minor is in interpersonal communication speech. So
That's not
Yeah.
shocking at all.
it can be accomplished, you know, but it's a lot of hard work, and you know, now I have no problem speaking in front of people. But so, yeah.
What would you say that your favorite story that you have written is?
Well, okay. So back in when I was doing my internship, I'll tell you about not possibly a story that I've written, but a news story that I helped contribute for it to be on the news. And so when I was going through my internship, and I graduated from U of H main campus, and their journalism degree there is top notch. I love that program over there. Well, we had a speaker, and we had to take a lot of law and ethics classes, and you know, there's a lot of laws that coincide with journalism that you have to be careful with. And so I did an internship. My professor recommended me for an internship with a TV news reporter for ABC Channel 13, Wayne Dolcefino. And y'all's parents, if they grew up around here, know who he is. He's not a person to mess around with. When he goes into restaurants, people jump because he's an investigative reporter. He has his own company, and he'll do some where he comes in and does some news stories when they're called for investigative reporting. So one news story I did was I had some undercover hidden cameras all over me. And we went out in the middle of the night. We took KTRK has black Tahoes. And so we came up with the idea, or, you know, a lot of people call for news stories at the station, and we just pick through and see which ones. And so Wayne came up with the idea of, let's investigate, you know, when you valet at different places, do they rummage through your cars when you hand them over the keys? Or are they pretty honest and just park your car? So that was the story. So we went to all these different places in Houston and got to eat for free and all this fun things. And I had hidden cameras in my purse and on me, and hidden cameras in the car. And we found out that some people will look for change and money and then pocket it, and then some people were honest. So that was so much fun. I really enjoyed that aspect of it. But also, that was probably the funnest story that we worked on that I helped contribute with.
You had like entertainment.
Now that is fun. I tell you, when newspaper is different from broadcast journalism. Okay, when you're newspaper writing, you have deadlines, but not as you do with a news story. When you are working at a news station, you go in. You may not be. You might not know what you're going to be doing for that day, and you have to have a news story by the 5:00 p.m. newscast. And you walk in, so you are in charge of. They come to a meeting and say, okay, this is what you need to do, and then you go out for a news story, depending on what kind of reporter you are. Now, an investigative reporter, you can take time and have a news story. But funny story is that when our office was right across from Marvin Zindler, and your parents know who he is too. He did a lot of help with the senior citizens, and he would come into our office and sit next to me and chat all the time, and he was quite a character. So I worked with two very bold, outspoken, and really a pillar of the community that did a lot of good for the community. So it was really nice.
Why did you decide to become a journalist?
Well, my favorite class in high school that I took, and I answered what my least favorite class in high school, but I didn't answer what my favorite class in high school was journalism. I loved journalism. So we had just moved to a new campus, and we were the first class, and I graduated in Pearland ISD, and we were the first class to graduate through the high school. And my journalism teacher, which is Mrs. Watson, she's the assistant superintendent right now in Pearland ISD. In fact, when I was told her I was teaching, I still keep in contact with her, and I told her I was teaching this journalism class, and I met with her, and we just had a great chat. But she was my journalism teacher, and she just showed us so many things and just made it so fun. I mean, the kids from yearbook class, because yearbook class is a part of journalism, to a newspaper writing, we did all of it. You know, it was a lot of fun. And so when I was in there, I thought, you know what, I was really into movies at that time. And so I wanted to be a broadcast TV reporter. And so hence working at the news station. And my dream was to be a TV reporter and be on Entertainment Tonight and interview all those celebrities from movies. And life took a different path, and it didn't happen. And so I went down another career path to teach.
Does your journalism teacher know about the podcast? Do you send these to her?
You know what? I don't, but I think I will. I'll send it to her so she can listen to it. I'm sure she'll get a really kick out of it. In fact, the author of y'all's textbook, we have spoken quite a bit of times. He's friends with my old journalism teacher too, and so he's been really helpful in guiding it too. So, but I will send it to her. I'm sure she'll get a kick out of it.
So, speaking of a journalism class, Ms. Mcwhirter, do you enjoy teaching a journalism class?
Say it again.
Do you enjoy teaching a journalism class?
Oh, of course. It is so fun. I mean, how can it not be? You know, I've enjoyed teaching, you know. So I know some of it, you know, is the law part's not fun, you know, but everything else, you know, it's just so important as even a career path for y'all to understand and learn. So it's good for when you enter into college. It's a very good stepping stone. You learn so many things. And journalism writing is so different from your essay writing in English class or dual credit or JTT. Okay, it's different. You follow a different format. It's your creative side, and it's just totally different. So remember the first time, the first month in class, I'm like, okay, change up your minds. This is not essay writing. This is journalism. And so learning the techniques of that is just very different, and it's fun. I really enjoy it. And if you have a teacher that enjoys what they do, I hope y'all enjoy it too. So it makes it more entertaining and fun.
No, this class is one of my favorites.
Oh,
It
good.
absolutely is.
I'm so glad.
See, if I wasn't graduating, I would take this class again. But I'm graduating, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna be sad. You know that.
3 out of 5 of our class is graduating.
It's true.
Yeah, I mean, Cammie is graduating. Anna's graduating. Samuel's graduating. Chase
Yes.
and Kristen are not yet, which I'm kind of happy about. But I'm sad that 3 of y'all are leaving because it's been like a little family. But it's my funnest class, I have to say. The best. And I've been teaching 20 years, y'all.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer right there.
So I noticed you keep asking when you started teaching, so it's a really weird question to ask.
What is
When
that?
did you start teaching? That's
Oh.
literally the question. So
Well, you know, I come from a long family members of teachers, okay? My mother always thought I would be a good teacher because when I was high school, I volunteered a lot at church in their children's department, and I loved helping with the kids. And then I did always a lot of volunteer work in the children's department in churches, and my mom always told me that I would become a good teacher. You know, I should be a teacher. One of my uncles graduated from A&M. He's a teacher. I had another uncle that was a teacher. And you know how it is when parents tell you one thing all the time? You kind of want to explore a different option than what they tell you. So that's what happened. And by golly, one day I was like subbing. And I'm like, I really love this. I want to be a teacher. And I found it's like been my passion. So I started teaching, gosh, a long time ago, Anna. So long, I can't even remember the year.
Well, I am glad that you chose to start teaching because you are one of my favorite teachers.
Oh, thank you,
wait,
Cammie.
what teaching degree did you get? Because there's a lot of different ones. Because I know a lot of my friends have gone into like early teaching.
Mm-hmm.
Did you do like elementary, middle?
I did my internship in elementary education.
Okay, well, thank you for the story about your teaching, but tell us, what is a fun fact about you?
Okay, I was trying to, when I saw this question, I'm like, oh gosh, let me narrow it down, right? It's like, I'm not that old, but I do have some quite a few stories. One of the stories that's been one of my all-time favorite highlights in my life was, I like music. I love music. And I'm not a particular, like, one genre type of person. I do like various types of music. And one of them happens to be Neil Diamond. I love Neil Diamond. When I was in my 20s, I saw him at the rodeo. Chase is asking who Neil Diamond is, y'all.
He sings Summer in Blue Jeans and Heartbreak Hotel.
Caroline, Sweet Caroline.
Yeah, I know.
We're going to have to
Oh,
play
okay.
some songs for you, Chase.
Don't worry, we'll play some.
We got you.
He's just an icon, right? And he sang a lot with Barbra Streisand and all that kind of genre, but he's just amazing. So one day, my mom is also a Neil Diamond fan. So he was coming to Houston, not at the rodeo, just at a concert. So I told my mom, and I invited my mother-in-law too, but she wasn't able to come. And I told my mother, I said, let's go to the Neil Diamond concert. It was playing at the Toyota Center. So we went to the Neil Diamond concert. And it was pretty much a sold-out crowd. I mean, it was full. And the tickets on the floor were really expensive. The tickets on the floor were going for like $1,000. And the reason why I'm telling you this, why that fact is important, is because of this. We were sitting in our seats, okay, and then he starts playing, and we're off to the side, so you have a good side view, but we're not in the nosebleed section, right? So I'm like, you know what? I bet we can move down a little bit. And I know you're not supposed to, but what did I do?
You moved down.
I moved down. So there were a few of us that moved down. So I saw a couple of the band members that were playing guitar. They would play the songs and they kept looking over at us, right? And I'm like, okay, just during their concert, kept looking over at us. Well, in the middle of the concert, guess what happened? Neil Diamond starts talking, stops the concert, and said, you know what I want to know? How you people got the best seats in the house. Meaning my mother and I and a few others right there in our little section. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm going to get escorted out. Here I am. Guys, I'm a rule follower, right? I'm one of those people, except for that time. because I loved him so much. I wanted to get a closer view. And he goes on and on during his concert. There are like, I don't know, 50,000 people like staring at us, right? And I'm like, I'm going to get in so much trouble. I'm going to get, escorted out. And he goes, I just don't understand. These people on the floor pay good money for their seats. And here y'all have the best seats in the house. I've been thinking about this the whole concert. How in the world did that happen? And my mother's like, we love you, Neil Diamond. Woo! She's cheering. My mom is very outspoken and very happy and outgoing. She's the life of the party. And she's like, God is good, all the time, just cheering. And then he complimented us on it. And I'm like, oh, he goes, but y'all are fine. Y'all can stay there, pretty much. And he just turned it into like, I'm going to get in trouble by Neil Diamond to he made it to like, y'all are awesome. So nobody came down. We stayed there the rest of the concert in our little section with nobody else around. There was nobody around us. So that's like one of the highlights. And I told my mother-in-law, I said, you could have come with us. You missed that whole experience. And
I remember when I first went to my first concert. Yeah, it was kind of funny too because it was Joshua Bell and he dropped his bow like mid-song. But it was pretty cool.
Oh.
Because I actually got to see him and get an autograph.
Oh, how cool. Oh, that's special.
Did you get a Neil Diamond autograph?
No, he didn't do that.
Wait, seriously?
No. It was thousands of people, Yeah.
I thought.
Thank you so much, Ms. Mcwhirter, for coming on as a guest and for teaching our journalism class like the whole year. You've been an amazing teacher. Okay.
Thank
So
you.
we
Well,
have-
thank you, Kristen. I have to say, I could not have done it without y'all. And I want to give y'all, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I want to tell everybody what each one of y'all, how y'all contributed. And I prayed to God throughout the whole summer that He would bring me the right kids for journalism class. And I prayed before each, and during the summer that would have the, for my classes, right? And so I have to say, my kids are laughing. I'm trying to figure out why are they laughing.
I think it should be said Sam has a really wide-eyed look on his face right now. Yeah, you look like you're stuck in a headlight,
Sam is
Sam.
very
Samuel, you're meant to be
Sam
here.
looks a little petrified.
Sam
So-
got into this class for free.
So, Kristen, as you know, we have an online newspaper. And Kristen, you want to tell everybody what the website is?
HEPnews.org.
And Kristen was and still is our website builder. So we had to start. This was our first journalism class at HEP, so we had to start from the ground up. And a lot of these projects took a lot of time before we could even start doing the stories and everything. So next year they'll be coaxing right in without having to build it. But Kristen built our website from the ground up. So take a look at that. These kids worked really hard on it, and there's wonderful news stories on there. And I wish we could have done a lot more, but with first year, a lot of this took a lot of time. So she did the website. Chase is the director of our podcast. And he is the one that put it all together, edited the stories, and just kind of like directed it all. Okay, I think Chase is a little embarrassed because I'm giving him kudos. And Kristen, without her, we wouldn't have the online. So these two put in a lot of hard work. Anna also is our yearbook person. She's our yearbook editor. She's worked tirelessly on both yearbooks. Journalism class is doing the classical yearbook. She is doing both yearbooks.
Actually, doing 3.
3 yearbooks. Okay, 3 yearbooks. That's right. And that is also time consuming. Samuel is our editor, and he has a gift of editing stories. He's really good at that, and he can take a story and just rewrite it. And it takes, not everybody can do that either. I mean, Samuel has a gift, almost like he can calm people down with this soft heart and just get everybody in the right groove. He's like our cheerleader of the class of calmness, you know, if that makes sense. Cammie's a cheerleader of like happiness. But Samuel, he's a fantastic editor. I was so impressed the first time he did that. I was like, oh my gosh, he's got a calmness about him. And he could take the stories and just make it shine. And Cammie is, like I was saying, she's the cheerleader of the class. She comes in so happy all the time. She gets everybody excited about story writing or whatever it is to do that's to be done that day, because I know some of these kids have been here all day and this is their last class. And especially if they've had chemistry, you know. But Cammie, she's learned to conquer her fears and actually interview people without any fear now, and she's just really good at coming up with ideas of what we should do. And she's just a really go-getter and just a happy bubble personality. I'm so excited. But each one, without y'all, even if one of you was missing in this class, I don't think it would have been as productive, or, you know, it just would have not been the same. Can you imagine the class with
No.
Probably not.
I mean, without one of
different.
y'all, it would be different, right?
Technically, if we didn't have one person, we wouldn't have accomplished all we had in this class.
That's
Yeah.
true.
I mean, it's a fun class, but it was a lot of work, you know, and without y'all, I just want to say thank you to each one of you, because it just takes a lot of effort and time when you have a lot of other things on your schedule.
You know what? On that note, final question. Who is your favorite student among all 5 of us?
Didn't I just answer that question?
No, I don't think you did.
I don't think you specifically named a single
You
person.
should name someone.
I didn't hear a name, Miss Mcwhirter.
And
Tell us the
there will
name.
be no name. I just can't. I just
You
can't.
should,
Y'all, that's like
name
picking, I
someone.
cannot pick a favorite.
Someone should be like slightly like a decibel above.
Guys, I really hate to cut in here, but we've done a bunch of interviews, and you know what question we haven't asked yet? Our signature question.
Oh my goodness.
Mrs. Mcwhirter, what is your hidden talent?
Oh gosh. My hidden talent?
This is not on
Surprise
script.
question.
I should have been prepared for that question, because
We do it in
I
every
remind
interview.
y'all to ask that question after every interview.
I actually forgot about this question.
And
I did
You're
too.
my hidden talent,
Both interviewers forgot about the question.
You're welcome.
What's your
Thanks.
talent?
What's your hidden talent?
well, super organized and I'm a multitasker. Some things, and I know that's not, but some people aren't, but I've done things where I've like directed and started programs at church, or directed VBS making sets from start to scratch, making roller coasters and things while teaching and raising kids. So I have to say, and I look back, I'm like, how in the world was I able to do like a million things at one time, and not that, just like leadership roles too and different things. So I've done a lot at the same time, and I think only God, when He wants you to do something, He'll put you up for the task no matter how hard it is. So I think maybe that's my hidden talent,
Very nice.
just being able to juggle everything with a smile on my face.
I'm not a multitasker.
I do my best to be a multitasker. Thank you again so much for being here and just being our teacher.
I mean, what Kristen said, just thank you again. I think you made my senior year pretty much fun. I think you made everyone's school year extremely fun and entertaining. We had a lot of laughs, a lot of bloopers too.
That's true.
But just thank you again for this interview. It meant a lot, and I think we've been planning this interview with you since.
Our first interview, we specifically said that you would be our last interview we did.
Yeah.
And I know we've been talking about it for so long, and I just want to thank each of you, and I love each and every one of you differently and just special. And so I'm just honored to be the first journalism teacher at HEP. Thank you so much, and I really appreciate every one of you. It's been my funnest class ever.
So thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning into the podcasts throughout the year. And let's have everybody say their final goodbye to the podcast.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you all for listening to today's podcast. Goodbye and good luck.